Good morning. This is Jair Consejo, and this is the meal presentation of Group 2. So this is a whole day meal plan for a hypertensive patient, and our chosen menu is grilled salmon with honey for lunch. So since our patient is a hypertensive patient, let us discuss what is hypertension first. So hypertension is a significant and costly public health problem. It is a major but modifiable contributor for the development of cardiovascular disease. Our chosen meal for lunch is grilled salmon with honey because this meal will help the client to minimize hypertension because salmon has a small amount of fat compared to other types of meat, especially pork. For the rationale, most of the salt we consume comes from ready-to-eat convenience food as well as foods prepared outside of the home. Our menu is specifically for patients with hypertension. We avoided adding salt to foods and used foods with reduced sodium table salt instead, such as vegetables and fish. We also avoided foods with sauces and condiments, canned foods, processed foods, unhealthy snacks, cured meats, pickled foods, and alcohol, because these foods can increase sodium intake, thus increase blood pressure. So for breakfast, we have Korean seaweed soup. So seaweed or sea vegetables are forms of algae that grow in the sea. They're a food source for ocean life and range in color from red to green to brown to black. Seaweed grows along rocky shorelines around the world, but it's most commonly eaten in Asian countries such as Japan, Korea, and China. It's extremely versatile and can be used in many dishes including sushi rolls, soups and stews, salads, supplements, and smoothies. For its nationale, seaweeds are a rich source of protein known as bioactive peptides. These chemicals have a similar effect to ACE inhibitor drugs, which are widely prescribed to help lower blood pressure and prevent heart attacks and strokes. Korean seaweed soup is included in our menu because it is hardly one of the most appetizing vegetables. In fact, there are several health benefits through by seaweeds. It contains iodine and tyrosine, which support thyroid function. It is also a good source of vitamins and minerals, and it contains a variety of protective antioxidants that can make unstable substances in our body, called free radicals, less reactive. Seaweeds provide fiber and polysaccharides that can support our gut health, and they also have the power that may help us lose weight by delaying hunger and reducing weight because it contains few calories, filling fiber, and fluoxetine that contributes to an increased metabolism. So another breakfast is Mami noodles. So rice noodles are considered to be the highest consumed form of rice product alongside cooked rice grain in Asia. Noodles are served by frying and blending with meats and vegetables or are served as soup noodles by boiling in broth. The major ingredients are water and rice flour. It is common in cuisines of Southeast and East Asia and are found frozen, fresh or dried in various texture, thickness, and shapes. As fresh noodles are perishable, its shelf life could be just several days. Its shelf life could be lengthened by drying and cut out its moisture content. It is the main ingredient in Asian soup with smooth rice noodles and clear broth. Rice noodles are very brittle when raw and turn translucent and chewy when cooked. It is commonly used in South Asian cuisine. The plus point of using rice noodles is it cooks very fast and becomes mushy when overcooked. For the rationale, rice noodles can manage cholesterol fat and are helpful for diabetics. It is made of water and rice flour that offer a fat or cholesterol level of 0. That is why it is beneficial for maintaining heart health in a person. It also has a low glycemic index, which helps to control blood sugar level and also prevent diabetes. For the morning snack, we have sweet butter toast. So toast is a form of bread that has been browned by toasting, and that is the exposure to radiant heat. The browning is the result of Maillard reaction, altering the flavor of the bread and making it firmer so that it's easier to spread toppings on it. Toasting is a common method of making stale bread more palatable. Bread is often toasted using a toaster, but toaster ovens are also used. Pre-sliced bread is most common. Toast is commonly eaten with butter or margarine, and sweet toppings such as jam or jelly. Regionally, savory spreads such as peanut butter or a yeast extract may also be popular. While buttered toast may also accompany savory dishes, especially soups or stews, and be topped with heartier ingredients like eggs or baked beans as a light meal. For the rationale, toasted bread slices may contain benzoapyrene and high levels of acrylamide, a carcinogen generated during the browning process. High acrylamide levels can also be found in other heated carbohydrate-rich foods. The darker the surface color of the toast, the higher its concentration of acrylamide. That is why, according to the recommendations made by the British Food Standard Agency, bread should be toasted the lightest color acceptable. As of 2019, epidemiological study suggests it is likely that acrylamide consumption increases people's risk of developing cancer. For lunch, we have grilled salmon with honey. Salmon is a common food fish classified as an oily fish with a rich content of protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Honey has high levels of monosaccharides, fructose, and glucose, and it contains about 70 to 80% sugar, which provides its sweetness. Honey also has antiseptic and antibacterial properties. Modern medical science has managed to find uses for honey in chronic wound management and combating infection. For its rationale, grilled salmon with honey is a heart-healthy diet and excellent source of niacin, phosphorus, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, vitamin D, and a good source of potassium and iron, magnesium, omega-3, pantothenic acid, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin E, and zinc. It is also low in saturated fat and free of trans fat. For the afternoon snack, we have sweet butter toast. Again, as I mentioned earlier, toast is a form of bread that has been browned by toasting, and that is the exposure to radiant heat. For its rationale, again, toasted bread slices may contain benzoapyrene and high levels of acrylamide, a carcinogen generated during the browning process. For dinner, we have Ampalaya con Carne. High blood pressure, including cardiac disease, stroke, or heart failure, is a disorder that can lead to numerous other health problems. It has been shown that bitter melon or ampalaya help lower high blood pressure. Bitter melon is a tropical plant belonging to the gourd family and closely related to zucchini, cabbage, pumpkin, and cucumber, and it is also known as bitter gourd or Momordica tarantia. It contains polypeptide, a compound called insulin-like, and carantine that has anti-diabetic properties. These components deliberately help reduce the level of sugar in the blood by regulating the metabolism and utilization of sugar in the body it has absorbed. It also helps avoid unpredictable increases and decreases of insulin levels. For its rationale, bitter melon is an anti-inflammatory and also helps to reduce body's poor levels of cholesterol. Thus, the risk of heart disease and stroke is greatly decreased. It also maintains the body's blood pressure as it is high with potassium, which absorbs unnecessary sodium in the body. It is high in iron and folic acid, which are believed to minimize the risk of stroke and to sustain a healthy heart. It is also rich in vitamin C, an essential micronutrient involved in the prevention of diseases, bone growth, and wound healing. Vitamin A, on the other hand, is a fat-soluble vitamin that improves skin protection and proper vision. and is also high in fiber. Bitter melon also provides folate, which is essential for production and growth, as well as smaller amounts of potassium, zinc, and iron. Beef contains dozens of health-promoting nutrients that we need in our diet. It provides a large source of L-carnitine. L-carnitine does the job of transporting fats into our mitochondria for burning. It is important to clarify that our body can synthesize sufficient amounts of L-carnitine for general needs. This makes it a non-essential amino acid that synthesizes L-carnitine within the liver, and the process relies on the amino acids L-lysine and L-methionine. As a result, deficiencies are rare. Furthermore, beef is naturally rich in protein, which helps muscle growth and supports muscle mass. Beef also provides iron and four essential vitamins, namely niacin, riboflavin, vitamins B6 and B12, which help reduce tiredness and fatigue. It is also rich in source of zinc, which supports normal hair growth, nails, and skin. Zinc also supports normal cognitive function, fertility, and reproduction, and also contributes to the maintenance of normal testosterone level in the blood. Beef is also a straightforward food to cook. It requires no lengthy recipe or complex preparation procedures. And when you add honey to it, it will further increase its nutrients sake. So this is the client's profile. So he is 55 years old, male, single, with 2 children, and with 80 kilograms of weight, 5'5" height. He is a care sales manager, and hours of sleep 6 hours. He has hypertension. He likes salty foods, and he doesn't mention food dislikes and food allergies. So this is the table of results. So his BMI is 29.38, which indicates that he is overweight. His DBW is 58.59 or 128.9 pounds. His TER is 1,710 kcals. And his diet recommendation is 300 carbohydrate, 45 protein, and 40 fats. So this is the formula for the BMI. We have mass in kg over height in m squared. So the total BMI again of our client is 29.38, which indicates that he is overweight. Again, this is the DBW for our client. So the formula is IBW is equals to 165.1 cm minus 100 cm is equals to 65.1 cm. Then get the 10% of the 65.1 cm, then it is equivalent to 65.1 minus 6.51 kilogram is equals to 58.59 dBW, or 128.9 pounds. So this is the computation for the TER, or the total energy requirement. Again, the total energy requirement of our client is 1,710 kcals. So this is the distribution for the whole meal. 70% carbohydrates, 10% protein, and 20% fats. So again, we have 1,710 kcal with 300 carbohydrates, 45 proteins, and 40 fats. So this is the computation for the total number of carbohydrates, protein, and energy for the whole meal. And this is the computation for the number of energy of rice, meat, and fat. And now this is the computation for distribution of total calorie per meal. So we have breakfast 500 kcal, lunch 450 kcal, dinner 450 kcal again, morning snack 150 kcal, and afternoon snack 150 kcal again. And this is the computation of number of serving per meal. So we have 9 total of servings for breakfast, 8 totals of servings for lunch, 8 total of servings for dinner, 3 total of servings for morning, and 3 also for the total servings of afternoon snack. So this is the table for the computation for meal distribution. And this is the table of meal plan for a hypertensive patient. And now this is the distribution of total energy requirement per meal. And this is the computation for the number of grams of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in grams. So we have 80 grams in carbohydrates, 10 grams in proteins, and 10 grams in fats. So this is the general servings and ingredients of our menu. So we have 1/2 cup cooked seaweed, 4 pieces pandesal, 1 cup Mami noodles, 2 pieces yema, 2 teaspoons of butter, and 1 piece beef. So for the procedure of the Korean seaweed soup, first is to soak the dried seaweed in cold water for 5 to 10 minutes while allowing it to expand. Drain the water away and rinse the seaweed a couple of times in the running water. Drain or squeeze the water out. If you're using a non-pre-cut dried seaweed, cut it with scissors about little finger lengths and then set it aside. Then, combine the sliced beef with the mixed salt and black pepper in a small bowl. Mix them well and set aside until needed. And then, reheat a medium pot over medium heat for about 20 seconds and add the sesame oil, seaweed, and beef. Stir them well until the beef is partly cooked for about 2 minutes and add the soy sauce, garlic, and water. Cover the pot and boil over medium or medium-high heat until the meat is fully cooked for about 10 to 15 minutes. Adjust the taste with more salt if needed. And lastly, serve warm with a bowl of steamed rice and other Korean side dishes. For the procedure of beef Mami noodles, brown the beef and sear the sides in a preheat soup pan. Then pour in the water and bring to a boil. Allow to boil until beef becomes tender. Then add star anise, onion, garlic, salt, and pepper to the taste. Place the cooked egg noodles and Chinese cabbage and let it simmer for a few minutes. And then pour the soup, noodles, and beef brisket in serving bowls, then garnish with sliced boiled egg and green onions. For the procedure of the soft and buttery pandesal, first is in a medium-sized bowl, combine lukewarm water, 1 teaspoon of sugar and yeast, stir until completely dissolved and let it stand for 5 to 10 minutes until yeast begins to form. Meanwhile, in the bowl of your stand mixer, combine flour, sugar, and salt and mix thoroughly. Then add warm milk, yeast, mixture, egg yolks, and butter to the dry ingredients and then stir with a spatula until just combined. Attach the dough hook and turn the stand mixer on the lowest speed and mix until flour is incorporated, scraping down the sides of the bowl as necessary. And then increase the speed to medium and beat for 2 minutes. Add additional flour as necessary. Start with 2 tablespoons and go from there. Continue beating for 5 to 6 minutes until the dough is slightly sticky and soft and pulling away from the edges of the bowl. Be careful not to add too much flour. Then wipe or spray oil on the sides of the bowl, then form dough into a ball. Cover with plastic wrap and let it rise in a warm spot for 1 hour until it doubles in size. To make ahead, do a cold rise by placing the dough in the refrigerator. The dough will slowly double in size the next day. See the notes for more information. So remove the plastic wrap and punch the dough down. Transfer into a lightly floured surface. Divide the dough into 20 to 24 portions and shape into a smooth ball. For an evenly sized dough, use the kitchen scale. Mine was a So for the general ingredients and serving of the sweet butter toast, we have 2 slices of pan americano, 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar, and 1 teaspoon of butter. So for the procedure of the sweet butter toast, mix the sugar and cinnamon in a small bowl if desired. Melt the butter on a heavy griddle over medium heat, then coat both sides of the bread slices with the melted butter on the grill and rearrange the grill and sprinkle the sugar. Then, once the bread has nice grill marks, about 2 minutes, flip over and grill the sugared side for 2 minutes until caramelized. Then transfer the toast to a plate, sugar side up, cool slightly, then cut diagonally in half. And then eat toast sugared side down. For the general ingredients and serving of the grilled salmon with honey, we have 1/2 cup cooked kangkong, 1 small banana, most likely lakatan banana, 1½ cup packed rice, steamed rice, 1 teaspoon honey, 1 teaspoon butter, and 1 slice of salmon. For the procedure of the grilled salmon with honey, first is cut the salmon fillet into similarly sized pieces as per number of servings required. Then put them in a resealable plastic bag, then add the honey and soy sauce, then mix well. Let them marinate 2 hours in the refrigerator. Then place the fish on an oiled hot grill, then cook 8 to 10 minutes depending on thickness of the fillet pieces, turning them once, alternatively. Heat the oil in a groove stick bottom pan. When hot, add the fish, then cook 45 minutes per side, turning the pieces once, and it is important to check with the fork to see if the fish is cooked thorough. Then lastly, season with salt and pepper, then serve on warm plates. For the general ingredients and serving of the extra crispy sugared butter toast, we have 2 slices of pan americano, 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar, and 1 teaspoon of butter. For its procedure, slice each bread into 3 small equal pieces and let them sit on a cutting board or plate to make them become dry for 10 minutes. Then put the sugar into the long container or plate, spread some butter thinly on one side of the bread, and dip the buttered side down on the sugar. Press them a little gently to let the sugar coat them evenly, and then put them on a baking tray. Next is preheat the oven to 150 Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit. Bake them for 10 to 15 minutes until it's golden brown. So if you have only a halogen oven, you can bake it with the same temperature and time as following, but increase 5 more minutes for the bread at the lower sieve to make them golden brown and crispy. Then lastly, when they're ready, you can eat them right away or store them in an airtight container for a week. For the general ingredients and serving of the Ampalaya con Carne, we have 1/2 cup cooked ampalaya, 1½ cup packed rice, steamed rice, 1 teaspoon granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and 1 piece ground beef. For the procedure of the Ampalaya con Carne, cut the ampalaya lengthwise into halves with a spoon, remove seeds and scrape off the inner pith, and slice thinly and place into a bowl of cold water until needed. Drain well when ready to use. Then, in a bowl, combine beef, 1/2 of oyster sauce, 1/2 of soy sauce, sesame oil, and salt and pepper to taste. Marinate it for about 10 minutes. And then in a wide skillet over high heat, heat 1 tablespoon of oil, add beef and spread across the pan. Allow to sear for about 1 to 2 minutes or until lightly brown and then turn to brown evenly. Remove from the pan and set aside. Then, in the same pan, add the remaining 1 tablespoon of oil, add onions and garlic and cook, stirring regularly until limp. And then add ampalaya and gently stir to combine. and then cook for about 2 to 3 minutes until tender yet crisp. Return beef to the pot. Then lastly, in a small bowl, combine water, the remaining soy sauce and oyster sauce, sugar and cornstarch, and then stir until sugar and cornstarch are dissolved. Add to the pan and continue to cook, stirring regularly for about 1 to 2 minutes or until beef is heated through the sauce slightly thickens. Season with salt and pepper to taste, and then of course serve it hot. So this is the table of K-calorie distribution for breakfast. Table of K-calorie distribution for morning snack. Table of K-calorie distribution for lunch. Table of K-cal distribution for afternoon snack, and table of K-cal distribution for dinner. So this is the table of ingredients and nutrients value per serving for the whole day. So kangkong is a great source for vitamin A, which is essential for the health of skin, hair, and vision. Ampalaya are reportedly rich in minerals and vitamins, notably iron, calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin B, which helps in cough, stomach problems, wounds, and mostly notable diabetes. Seaweed contains vitamin A and C, and it is also rich in potassium, iron, calcium, iodine, and magnesium, while bananas contain a number of vitamins and minerals in decent amounts. These include potassium and vitamins B6 and vitamin C. Rice is a source of protein and contains various vitamins such as thiamine and niacin, and minerals such as zinc and phosphorus. While pandesal is a good source of selenium, sodium, iron, and phosphorus, Mami noodles contain vitamin A, C, calcium, and iron. Pan Americano contains 210 milligrams of sodium per serving and 8% of the daily recommended for an intake for iron. Source of protein: iron, zinc, selenium, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin D, phosphorus, pantothenate, magnesium, and potassium. Salmon provides extremely high amounts of B vitamins with a 100 grams serving of wild salmon, providing 18% of the recommended dietary intake for vitamin B1 and 29% of the recommended dietary intake for vitamin B2, 50% of the recommended dietary intake for vitamin B3, and 19% of the recommended dietary intake for vitamin B5, and 47% of the recommended dietary intake for vitamin B6. Yema contains vitamin A, B6, thiamine, and phosphorus. And the only vitamins in sugar are vitamin B, but it does contain trace amounts of several minerals such as calcium, iron, zinc, potassium, and sodium. So the vitamin present in honey are vitamin B6, thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, pantothenic acid, and certain amino acid. For butter, it contains vitamin A, D, E, vitamin B12, and K2. While olive oil contains the modest amounts of vitamins E and K, but olive oil is also loaded with powerful antioxidants. So this is the breakfast costing of our group. So this is the price per serving of the food item. 1.58 pesos for seaweed, 19 pesos for beef, 12 pesos for pandesal, 25 pesos for Mami noodles, 10 pieces yema, 1.56 pesos for butter, for a total of 69.14 pesos. And this is the morning snack costing. We have 7.5 pesos for pan americano, 0.3 pesos granulated sugar, and 0.7 pesos for butter, with a total of 8.5 pesos. And then this is the lunch costing. We have 9.54 pesos for kangkong,
3.542 pesos
for honey, 0.7 pesos for butter, 53.46 pesos for salmon, 10 pesos for banana, and 13.5 pesos for rice, for a total of 90.74 pesos. So this is the afternoon snack costing. We have 7.5 pesos for a pan americano, 0.3 pesos for granulated sugar, and 0.7 pesos for butter, for a total of 8.5 pesos. So this is for the dinner costing. We have 3.6 pesos for Ampalaya, 3.6 pesos per beef, 13.5 pesos for rice, 0.3 pesos for granulated sugar, and 6.55 pesos for olive oil, with a total of 42.95 pesos. So again, this is the total meal cost for the whole day. For breakfast costing, we have 69.14 pesos. For morning snack, we have 8.5 pesos. For lunch, we have 90.74 pesos. For afternoon snack, we have 8.5 pesos. And for dinner, we have 42.95 pesos, with a total of 219.83 pesos for the whole day. So this is the materials and equipment used: non-stick frying pan, spatula, knives, measuring cups, measuring spoons, tongs, grilling pan, cutting board, plates, and bowls. And that's the meal presentation of our group. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rationale and we are the group 2. We're going to cook grilled salmon with honey. So, napili namin yung grilled salmon with honey for patient with hypertension because salmon has a little amount of fat compared to other meats, like especially yung pork. So, salmon will help the patient to reduce the hypertension. Ngayon, ito yung mga ingredients: kangkong or water spinach, banana, butter para sa frying ng salmon, honey, and soy sauce. Isa-set aside lang natin yung mga side dishes natin and yung pang-fry. I-marinate natin ngayon yung salmon with soy sauce. Paghahaluin lang natin yung soy sauce at yung honey. I-rub lang natin siya sa fish para ma-sure na lahat ay makukuha. Na-overan ko na siya ng cling wrap and i-marinate natin siya sa refrigerator for 2 hours. So, yung ginawa ko sa kangkong is tinanggal ko lang yung mga dahon, yung magaganda. And i-steam natin to or papakuluan natin. And gagawin natin side dish dun sa fish. So, ito na yung ating kangkong. I-steam ko na siya. And ito yung ating salmon. I-grill na natin siya. Naglagay na ako ng butter. Ngayon, i-spread na lang natin using kitchen towel. Then, ilalagay na natin yung marinate na salmon. Maintain lang natin yung low heat since fish siya, madali siyang masunog. So, bantayan lang natin and i-flip natin siya every other 5 minutes. Okay, so after 5 minutes, flip na natin siya. And then, yung side na flip natin, lalahiran natin siya nung ginawa nating marinade. And then, i-flip natin ulit hanggang sa maluto na siya na tuloy. Okay, so luto na siya. Bago siya hanguin ng tuluyan, lagyan mo na siya ng onting salt lang since meron na siyang soy sauce and pepper. Kakat natin yung side dish natin na banana. Then, i-place lang natin siya. Set aside natin. Yan, we're done. So this is the Group 2's grilled salmon with honey. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you!